Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Pointless Top 10, a show where we make top 10 lists of pointless things. Why are we flying by this pointless statue in Booty Bay? Because inside pointless things are treasure. Let's begin. 10. Number 10 is Captain Crick Wrench Nozzle and the crew that commands the Maiden's Fancy, which is the boat that sails between Ratchet and Booty Bay. And when you talk to Captain Crick, he says, "Hey kid, you're aboard the Maiden's Fancy. The name's Captain Wrench Nozzle, and you've got the privilege of sailing on the pride of the Blackwater Raiders. The blood sail don't come near us, not with my sharp crew and the large amounts of gunpowder in the hold. Insurance, you know." And you've got quite a few people on the crew. You've got First Mate Masker, who is the human on board. You've also got Navigator Tari, who is usually navigating the ship, a troll, and then you've got Engineer Torque Spindle, who is an engineered goblin, and then there's Galley Chief Steelbelly, who is a dwarf that's also the ship's cook, and he carries around a big piece of meat and a hatchet. And then there's obviously all the other goblin crew members, and then most importantly, there's Treasure the Parrot, who belongs to Captain Crick and flies around the ship, apparently annoying all of the members of the Maiden's Fancy except the captain. But yeah, a lot of us take the boat between Ratchet and Booty Bay and have done so for years and just kind of assume that it works. But you know what? There's a hard-working crew behind that ship, and so that's why the Maiden's Fancy crew is number 10. 9. Number 9 is Senior Peon 2, and Senior Peon 2 is an assistant of Skagit, and Skagit is a goblin assistant of Monty Gaslow. So we have an assistant of an assistant, and these two are located in your garrison if you're Horde. And there's a few reasons that I really like Senior Peon 2. Number 1 is that it implies that there was a Senior Peon 1 who either died on the job or just, I don't know what happened to him, but he's gone now. And that he is wearing an insane outfit. He has got like some crazy shoulder pads with metal on, or they're not even shoulder pads. It's like a back piece, and then he's got on these goggles, and he's just carrying big things of lumber. And so I'm really impressed that he just stands here in the garrison day and night holding these logs, and he just doesn't get tired, dude. He just constantly holds them. You would think he'd put them down or something, but no, he's just always holding these logs. They may as well be part of it. And so even though Senior Peon 2 is just stuck in the garrison holding logs, I hope one day he gets to graduate to a higher ranking position where maybe he's in charge and then he gets assistance, or maybe he'll just get replaced by Senior Peon 3. I don't know. But either way, that's why Senior Peon 2 is number 9. 8. Number 8 are all of the NPCs holding open portals to Tol Barad, and that goes for both Alliance and Horde, because they are both in Orgrimmar and Stormwind. And back a while ago, I made a pointless top 10 worst jobs in World of Warcraft, and one of the jobs on that list was people that hold open portals, because obviously you just stand around holding open a portal. I don't know if you get any breaks. Maybe they have rotations where different people have to rotate in to hold open the portal, but I never really see that happening, so they're just always channeling portals for everybody to take. And so that got me to thinking, what would be the worst portal you would have to hold open? And there's quite a few of them, but I thought that holding open the Tol Barad portals would just be one of the worst jobs, because not only do very few people actually use your portals, but most people just queue for Tol Barad anyway if they wanted to do it. And I don't really know anybody that's actually queuing for Tol Barad. But you know what? If somebody wants to go get their Tol Barad rewards, or if they want to just walk around Tol Barad, they have the option thanks to these hard-working NPCs holding open these portals. And so that's why they're number 8. 7. Number 7 is Sweepy Mo, and Sweepy Mo is a hobgoblin that runs around the Undermine with a broom, sweeping, hence the name Sweepy Mo. And I think people do not give this guy enough credit. Like, he is here day and night, running around with his broom, making sure that the streets of Undermine are clean and, you know, safe to run around. Nobody's gonna be slipping on any dirt or anything, right? Like, we just had the big Diablo event. I'm sure there's a bunch of coins scattered all over. He was probably really busy during that event. And it's just nice that we have somebody making sure the streets are clean. In fact, Sweepy Mo is so dedicated to his craft of making sure the streets are clean. He'll even clean you off the streets. If you stand in front of him, he'll just bump into you and get you out of the way. He's like, "Oh, I'm sweeping here." And then he just sweeps you out of the way, because you know what? Sweepy Mo doesn't have time for that. He's got to keep sweeping, and if you're in the way, he's getting you out of the way. And so yeah, Sweepy Mo is fantastic. Great guy, keeping the streets of Undermine clean, and that's why he's number 7. 6. Number 6 are Brog Huntsworn and this random Warspear peon located in Ashran. And these two are pretty much right next to each other, but Brog Huntsworn is carving a cleft hoof, but he's doing so in maybe the slowest animation I have ever seen for somebody carving something. He's just like, whoosh, like, I don't know why he's going so slowly. Like, maybe he's just taking his time and being patient, you know? Maybe he's just trying to do the best job possible. And if that's the case, I truly do appreciate that. Meanwhile, then we have this random war spear peon who is chopping wood without an axe. And there's a lot of questions I have here. Number one is he actually chopping the wood, or does he just think he's chopping the wood, right? Like, he might be using a magical invisible axe for all we know, but he might just be doing nothing. Maybe he's gotten one too many concussions or injuries from working around these logs. Maybe he's got bumped in the head by the logs or something, and now he's just like, I think I'm chopping wood, and everyone's like, dude, what's that guy doing? But you know what? I still appreciate his effort, and that's why Brog Huntsworn and the War Spear Peon are number 6. 5. Number 5 are the Forge Ground Machine Smiths located at the Forge Grounds. And they are Earthen, who are working at the Forge Grounds, which serves as the profession quarter of Dornegal. And what I think is so cool about the Forge Ground Machine Smiths is they are just keeping everything going. Like, when you look at them, they are, you know, doing some sort of magic with like a little fireball above their head, or they're actually pulling the chains with magic. Like, these people are super underappreciated. Like, they are keeping this entire building going. This entire forge is powered by these machine smiths. And even when I was trying to find more information about them online, there's like absolutely nothing. They had other types of machine smiths, but all I found is that they have the ability Molten Chain, which is the ability that they're doing that you can see right there. But just overall, I think these guys are extremely underappreciated. You know, they're keeping everything going. People just fly by them. They're like, they're just doing their job. But you know what? Without them, this wouldn't be running. And so I think that's pretty cool. So that's why the Forge Ground Machine Smiths are number 5. 4. Number 4 is Theldurin the Lost, and you may know Theldurin from the quest The Dwarf Who Punched Deathwing, because he is also the dwarf that punched Deathwing. But before he did that, Theldurin was once a member of the Twilight's Hammer, but he lost his mind and scorned their teachings. Before he fled from them, he stole the Scroll of Mizrael to keep them from freeing the insane elemental Mizrael. The Twilight's Hammer couldn't catch him, and it's assumed that he hides in the Badlands going insane. And in the Badlands, the enraged Earth Elementals actually stole the scroll from Theldurin, tore it up, and then fight over the fragments. Then, after the Cataclysm, he's no longer insane and pretty much tells adventures of the time he punched Deathwing, and then his friends are also like, yeah, we also beat up Deathwing by, like, the gnome says he found him in the sun and, like, pulled him out of the sun and burned his hands and then threw him over to Kalimdor, and then his other friend Martek the Exiled was like, I was on my motorcycle and I went and knife fought Deathwing. So like, it's just all pretty insane. I actually talk more about it in NPCs you should know about in World of Warcraft. But I just love how crazy his story is, right? Like, he was part of the Twilight's Hammer, then he lost his mind, he ran away, he stole a scroll, he got lost out here, and then he like fought Deathwing with all his friends. And I truly appreciate those types of NPCs in World of Warcraft, and so that's why he's number 4. 3. Number 3 is Lock the Rock, and Lock the Rock is a dire troll located in the Royal Treasury in the Great Seal of Dazar'alor. And Lock the Rock is in charge of vault security, hence why he has the vault security title, so he's making sure that nobody steals from the bank. And if you talk to him, he says, the last gang that tried to rob this vault is out in Vol'dun now, just like everyone else who's tried. And this actually made me realize that there's not much bank security in World of Warcraft. Like, you can go to a lot of different banks throughout World of Warcraft, and none of them really have a dedicated bank vault security guy. Like, maybe there's one or two others. I haven't actually looked around, but all of the banks that I visited recently or paid attention to, like, there's no security. But you know what? In the Great Seal in Dazar'alor, they got Lock the Rock. He's got a great name, and he's ready to protect your bank. Even though not many people go to this bank anymore. There's probably still some. I see people here and there, but this is where you need to do your banking because you got Lock the Rock protecting everything in there. And that's why Lock the Rock is number 3. 2. Number 2 are the NPCs atop the Grand Expedition Yak, which are Cousin Slowhands and Mystic Birdhat. And the reason I picked them is because these are 2 NPCs that I think have been clicked on more than anyone in World of Warcraft's entire history. Like, the amount of people that just mount up onto their yak for repairs, buying reagents, transmogging, like, it has to put them up there amongst the most clicked on NPCs of all time. And even if you yourself don't have the mount, which I think pretty much everybody does, somebody else is probably using the mount, and you've probably clicked on the NPCs on their mount. They also have some fantastic quotes, such as, maybe you could do a barrel roll. I feel like a blood sausage. I'm just a pathetic creature of meat and brew. I was going to have a party and invite Mystic Birdhat, but you dismissed him. Your yak is in another stable, and a minute is all I need. Wait, that came out all wrong. So yeah, the next time you bust out your Grand Expedition Yak, thank Cousin Slowhands and Mystic Bird Hat for being there. And that's why they're number 2. And number 1 is Kaja, and Kaja is a female Tauren that is a guns and ammo merchant located right next to the auction house in classic Orgrimmar. And the reason I put her at number 1 is because I feel like she truly is the most underappreciated NPC in the history of World of Warcraft. Like, she was right there whenever you needed to repair your gear. She was right there whenever you needed to sell stuff out of your bags. Like, she was usually the first go-to NPC for anything that required selling stuff or repairing stuff, which in classic World of Warcraft happened quite a lot. And you didn't have the ability to just fly around all over and just find random NPCs to sell stuff to. Like, usually you went to the auction house, then you'd come out of the auction house and be like, I gotta sell some stuff, or I gotta repair. And guess who was right there waiting to help you out? It was Kaja. And so I'm sure she was happy with the spot she got right next to the auction house, being like, oh man, I'm gonna sell a bunch of ammo and guns for everybody. Turns out she just ended up buying a bunch of random stuff from people and repairing armor. But either way, that's why Kaja is number 1. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this episode of Pointless Top 10. If you want more Top 10s, you can check out Worst Jobs in World of Warcraft, since I mentioned that, or you can go check out NPCs you should know about, since I mentioned that as well. Also, like the video and tell me who you think is the most underappreciated NPC in World of Warcraft. Okay? Okay. See ya.